There.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you just have to play with that dot.
Okay.
All right, we're going to rewind. Once upon a time, and in the beginning, there was light. There was lots and lots of light, and the light was white. And then when there wasn't light, it was black, because there's no light. So the absence of light is black, and you know you can't mix black because it's an absence of light, and all the other colors make brown. But that is another story. But there was light, and then there's us. And we're human beings, and we're trying to pick up all this information from the outside world. So it comes in through holes in our heads. We have different senses. We have eyes, we have smells, we have vision, we have smells, we have things we hear, we have things we taste. So we're smelling and seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting. Anyway, somewhere in there are 7 holes in the head, and that is so that the information can come inside. Now inside there's no light. I could have told this better. All right, teachers, this is a sidebar. I expect you to come out with better order than the way I'm teaching it. So, yeah, we're not going to start all over. They'll figure it out. So we have, among the different senses, it comes into our head on these little information channels. So I would like to know, can you tell me how many holes we have in our head?
7.
This is the very first time anybody has ever said that. You know what everybody likes to forget? The ears, because they don't listen.
Oh.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have the visual information coming in through the eyes. This is the stuff we hear, the stuff we smell, and the stuff we taste. So this is all information. It goes inside the hole so that it's inside the head where there's no light. So naturally these holes are black, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put the holes in our head, and the hole is a 3D word. We're going to use a 2D word for that, which is dot. We're going to put dots on our piece of paper, and those will be the holes in our head. So this is not at all the way normally people teach portrait making, but that's what we're going to do.
And if you have more than 7 holes, then you're in trouble.
Yes, exactly. So I want you to keep in mind, we're going to make this where it fills up the page. So if you can start in the middle, those are going to be your nose holes. So you want to put your nostrils somewhere. Make sure they don't have to be that far apart, but don't make them like tiny, 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 because then your little face will be really, really small. Well, that looks pretty good. They might be a little far apart. George, put your second nostril, because
He's got a big nose.
I want you to be able to snort with 2 snorters, 2 snifters. All right, Max, let me see your holes. Are they in the middle of your page? Okay, y'all, you shouldn't be erasing too much. We'll always fix it later if it doesn't work. All right, so if those are your nose holes, then you're going to need to guess where your eye holes are. You know that they're further apart and they're higher up than your nose holes. So just use your instinct and get your little eye holes in, so that we have visual information coming in. Okay. Now, given that we have our eyes holes, our nose holes, and then there's going to be a mouth hole. For the moment, it's just going to be a dot, and we'll change the dot later. If you have a dot, then you're whistling, right? Huh? Do you have your mouth dot? George, where's your mouth dot? And once again, this is kind of an instinctive thing. Okay. See him? He's already there.
Yay.
See? This is how it works, because somehow I think the hand kind of knows the proportions. These are all triangles that we're drawing. These are dots and triangles. So somewhere in there we already have something, and already you might be able to recognize that person. All right, now, what did I forget? What does everybody forget? Exactly. So think about where the ear hole is located. It's further away, and this is the one that's easy to mess up. Think about where it is. It's like across from the nose and up a little, and then it's further over on the side. So stick your finger in your ear so you know where it is. Now that's your ear hole is in your ear. Yeah. Will doesn't want to put his finger in his ear. He's going, this is silly. Okay, so all right, now that you have kind of let your hand know where your ear hole is, let's get your ear holes on your piece of paper. Okay. Now, normally at this point people are drawing egg heads, but we're not going to do that. We're going to look at the issue of texture. Texture is something that today we're going to find on the top of our head. So what I see is some straight texture. This one's coming forward, this one's kind of going sideways. I see basically lines of medium length. Many of them are parallel, some of them are askew. Here I see some lines coming down. Yours are more going across. Most of them are parallel, and Max has this very interesting, the way his parallel lines end up on his forehead is kind of cool. There's a little chunk where it comes down. So I want you to think about the hair. I mean, don't forget, leave a forehead, but somewhere up here, and you can feel your hair. Where does it start? And it's going to go all the way over to your ears. So up here, you're going to have some texture. Now, you don't need to make a line because then you would be bald, right? Because we don't have a line up there. What we have is texture. So mostly you guys have little parallel lines. So figure out where that is. Just feel for it. Put your hands on your hair. Figure out where it stops on your forehead. See, like Max, yours stops right about there. I know, you're messing up your parallel lines, buddy. Very nice.
He's still mad about his haircut yesterday.
Actually, I kind of like it. It's very, it's very, I like it. You know, Max, there's no parallel lines in real life. There's no, I think it's very artistic. I like it. So you can start making your parallel lines. Or your texture. And it should start at the top and it comes down the sides, and then it's going to end around the ear because you guys have short hair. You can use whatever part of the pencil you'd like. Yeah, and if you run into a dot that you are not happy with, you can move your dots. But don't worry too much about it. It should come out. Yeah, this isn't too much of thinking. This is intuitive, instinctive work. You're going to be bald if you keep erasing. For George, don't worry about it. Just put a second dot. If you don't like your ear dot, just put another ear dot. I bet it's lower than that too. See, normally your ear dots are kind of on a level, like a little above your nostril dots. I don't see any hair texture. I see a void. I see more light.
Just above.
Yeah, but yeah, you can feel your hair, right? Your hair lives above your eyes, and it goes from one ear over the top and down to the other ear. So you can feel for it, okay? And it comes down. You've got a forehead. It comes down. Will, yours is pretty high, and you've got some lines.
Should I draw the forehead?
No, just draw the hair. Yeah, you don't have a line up there, right? It's just texture.
Wait, do we do the eyebrows?
Not yet. We will.
I like eyebrows.
Good. Can't wait till we get there. Nice, Will. Looks good. Max, that looks nice and accurate. Looking good, George.
You're just scribbly scrabble.
That's right, but that's what hair is. I mean, mine's like a mess. Mine looks windblown and humid. Okay, well, what happens, yeah, think about how it comes down, how it relates to your ear hole. Don't worry, we're going to put more ear on. We're not going to stay holes. Because our holes will be unprotected. We must protect them with hole coverings. And George, there should be some like up here. So it goes, yeah, Max, think about like you've got some here and then there's some higher than that.
Oh.
We don't want flat top head. No, don't erase, just add some. That's all right, just keep going, I'm going to quit interrupting. Well, you're looking real good over there. Keep Come on, George. We'll just hold on. I'm trying to do these instructions in order. So when the guys are finished growing hair, this looks good though. See, he's got hair behind hair, like little rows of grass. George, keep going. Keep going.
Go, George, go.
Max, you must stop erasing. Usually in this class, there are no erasers.
She'll take your eraser away, Max.
I will. So you just need, look, there's no way to do this wrong. Just go for it. I know. I'm glad. That'll show you not to use an eraser. You have to have confidence in your marks. Just pretend they're good. Because they are. George, can you add more hair, please? Max, come on. Let's go move on with the hair, please, sir. Will is doing a perfect job. Thank you. George, does it stop here? Does it come over closer to your ear? You don't have a mohawk. Think about where your hair goes.
What are you laughing at?
I know, George, you're slowing down this whole process.
I'm bad.
Yeah, Max, that film language is not allowed here. You're very good at drawing, and I have seen that manifested so many times.
For some reason, I think mine kind of looks like a cartoon bowl with a duck face.
Well, right now all you've got is some dots and some texture. Don't judge it till it's done.
Finished.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You're correct. You know, my mom said only roast beef is done. Everything else is finished. All right, we're going to move on because y'all are lollygagging too much. You can finish your hair later. All right. So, y'all haven't grown any texture on your, some people have texture that goes all the way around their head, but y'all aren't quite old enough for that, but close. So right now we have a jawline. Now the jawline is going to go from one ear to the other, and it's go under the mouth. And you have to guess about how far under the mouth, and if you feel for it, there are jawlines that are like round. There are jawlines that are a little more square. And that little square area, it's right here. So you just have to feel your jawline. And if that's your mouth hole and these are your ear holes, it's going to go somewhere under there. And it might be something like that, or it might be something a little rounder. So feel your jaw, and you start at one ear and ear hole, and it goes under the mouth. So be sure and leave enough room for your chin, and you're going to connect it up to the other ear hole. It's got to come under the mouth, sweetie. Come on, Emily, don't erase. Just put another line. It's okay. Feel for it. See, there's your mouth hole up here, and then your jaw is going to come all the way down here. So it's going to be somewhere around here. Nice, Will. Looks good. There you go, George. Thank you. I'm so glad you have it done. Very nice. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Awesome. Now, what we have is a curved line, 7 dots, and some texture. But already there is something humanoid about this. So to make sure that our nice little hairy balloons don't float off into outer space, we're going to add a neck, just to make sure, because otherwise it might float away. So normally with the neck we have 2 lines, and they're coming somewhere out of this jawline that we just drew. So once again, you feel for it, and you're going to just bring it down. And then as much room as you have on your paper, you can make like a little collar line. Like both of you guys, yeah, all y'all have t-shirts, so it'd be about like my necklace. It's going to go around. Nice. Well, right, at some point it's going to start straightening out into the shoulder, and then you've got Yeah, exactly. So George, somewhere in there you've got like a collar. Alright, then go ahead and make your shoulders come out so that you don't look like a chopped off head. Next, where's your neck? So I see a balloon about to fly up into outer space. Very nice, Will.
My
Nice,
neck
great, George. Feel for it, Mr. Max. Cool. Alright, so now we have the light, we have holes, and we've got a whole lot of bugs. There are bugs all over the planet, and they see a hole and they want to jump inside and make a home. So I think we should protect our holes. And nature has it that we have like lips. We have lips on our eyes, we have lips on our ears, we have lips on our nostrils, and lips on our mouth. So these are all just little pieces of flesh that can go up and down using our muscles, and those are to protect our holes so that bugs don't get inside. So I think we should start with, let's start with the mouth. So we said this before, what is the mouth hole doing right now? Pacing?
Whistling.
Yeah, it's whistling because it's just a hole. So if you think about it, the mouth, it can get bigger and go ooh, or it can get longer. That's not the way I usually teach this. But the mouth hole can be really small or it can be really big. It can be all kinds of things in between. And this is all open mouths, or it can be closed. So if you take a dot and you pull it out, pull out the edges, and you get a line, and your line can go up, it can go down, right? But somewhere in there, there's a line. So you can choose to have an open mouth, or you can choose to have where you've got a shape, or if your mouth stays closed, you're going to have a line, unless you're whistling, and then you would have the dot. So if you can take your dot and turn it into the shape of the hole or lack of hole. I don't think I've taught this in a while. The hole or lack of hole. That does not sound familiar.
I'm keeping my hole shut.
Exactly. All right, nice, George. He's got a quizzical look. Max, y'all quit erasing. It's not that dire. And Max, your mouth was fine. But you can take your hole and spread it out into a line. You can make it bigger or smaller. Okay, George is ready to go. Now, on either side of the shape or the line, you have these little flappers. And it's our lips. So you need to protect your mouth with the lip. So like if that's a hole, you're going to have something up and something down. They're like lids, lips. The little pieces of fleshy flesh protectors. Sounds like Dennis, doesn't it? Fleshy flesh. It's got fleshy flesh protectors.
Hey, did you get my message about dinner next Sunday?
Yes. I don't know yet.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do the same thing with our nose. So think about it. Your nostrils, you can feel for it. Sometimes they're usually roundish, or they're kind of tear-shaped. So they might be like this, they might be like this, they might be more squared off. So they could be any of these kinds of shapes. So on either side of your little nose holes, you want to put nostrils. Once again, they're protection, so that things don't fly up inside. So you can feel for it, but do not pick.
Please.
Please.
There's my nose.
So yeah, Max's, yours are really round looking. Basically, the older you get, the longer they get.
Great.
And then you learn how to flare them with great grace. Right, I can move mine independently.
I can move mine.
Let me see. Yes! Wow! Max, that was great. That is quite a talent.
I can move my shoulders.
Okay, so are we protected? Yes. Max, I see a bug. He's just trying to get into those little things. So they can be flared, so you can make your hole bigger or smaller, but it needs protecting. Thank you. All right, now what about the eyes? We have the same thing. So you can look. This doesn't look very different from an eye, except there's an eyeball inside. And on top of that, we're going to put some little lid. So you've got an upper lid, and it's bigger than the lower lid. So what you've got actually is, what's the hole in the eye? What do we call that?
Pupil.
Exactly. So what we've actually drawn, the hole through which visual information gets inside our brain, is the pupil. So around the pupil there's this aqueous substance. I'm getting lost. There's an eyeball, right?
Vitreous.
Huh?
Vitreous.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah, that's inside the eyeball. It's like a little bowling ball with the pupil in it, and then the pupil's real protected, so it's got a little cover on it, and it's got like all this liquid, and I'm getting lost. This is not part of the class. But we're going to protect all that with some lids. So I want you to, assuming that your pupil is in the middle, you can put some iris if you want. So you have a pupil, and then you might have a little iris around it. And then on both sides of that, you've got lids. And you've got a little lower lid and a big upper lid. And once again, it's about, so here it is closed, here it is partially closed, here it is bigger, and here it is surprised.
Honey, I think something's happening.
What?
It's flashing an orange thing in the top left. Battery.
Maybe.
Does it take batteries?
Huh?
Does it take batteries, or does it charge with a...
Maybe we can plug it in real quick.
Okay.
So it can,
My eyes.
Will was using an eraser.
oh, well, don't do that. Alright, somebody has not put things where they belong. Alright, equipment issues. Hold on. Alright, I'm gonna have to go get an extension cord. While we pause for a station